All right, we are looking at lesson 61 today. Are you talking about of the 5? 550. We're looking at chemical mixture problems. We've done these before. What did we do with them?
Try to get a median or like an average.
Yeah. We took two things, and what did we do with them? We mixed them together, right? Yeah. No, like you have 20% alcohol, 30%, and then you want to make it get, yeah. Any questions on this? What we did on the last ones? Okay. Yeah, you would use X and Y. So what we're going to do instead of taking two and mixing them together, we're going to start with a given thing. We're either going to add or subtract. So we're either going to add something to it or subtract from it to get what we want. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What do we do on these? Do you remember what we start by doing?
Yes.
Make our boxes. We have 3 boxes. What are we doing? Why are we subtracting? Evaporated. So something, taking out something gives us what we want. Does that make sense? Okay, what did we start with? Does that make sense? What are we going to end up with? Does that make sense so far? Okay. How much water must be evaporated? No. Do we know how much, like the gallon amount? No. No, it's just a certain amount. We'll come back to the percentage in a second. But we're just taking out a certain amount of gallons. So if we start with 100, how many gallons are we taking out? X. Does that make sense? So how many are we going to be left with? 100 minus X. Does that make sense? Okay. What are we taking out? No. Like, no. We're taking out water. Does that make sense? Water is what percent water? 100% water. Does that make sense? How much water must be evaporated? Water is just water. It's 100%. No. So if it's 100% water, is there any brine in it? No, it's only water. Does that make sense? Do you see how that works? Okay. If this is 10% brine, how much percent water is it? It's 90%. water. If this is 40% brine, it is 60% water. Does that make sense? Any questions on how?
Oh, never mind.
Anything? Okay, so there are actually two different ways you can do it. One of them is easier, whether you do it that way or not. It doesn't really matter. If we use the brine, we have 10% times what? Minus 0% times equals Does that make sense? But what is 0% times x? 0. So this one like cancels out, right? So you're really just left with that. Does that make sense? So that's what I think is easier because you end up like canceling out a term right off the bat. The other way you could do it, instead of using brine, use water. So we'd say 90% times 100 minus 100% of x equals 60% of 100 minus x. Does it matter which way you do it? Are you going to get the same thing either way? Okay. Which way are y'all going to work it? No, you do one or the other. You're doing the top one? Okay, I'll do the bottom one. We'll compare answers. Anybody else get that? Did he get 75? Okay. It says how much water must be evaporated. We're evaporating the x, right? So we evaporate 75 gallons worth. And then what do we have left? We have 25 gallons left. But did they ask for what you had left over? They only asked for what you had to take out. Does that make sense? You got 75. And then you got 25. But all it asks for is how much you evaporated. You took out the 75, and that's all it wants. It doesn't care about how much you had left over. Does that make sense? Well, I mean, it's fun. But on the other ones, they were adding two together, and they want to know how much of each you needed, and so you had to put both of them. But on this one, it only cares about how much you're taking out. It doesn't care about how much is left over. Does that make sense? So you only have one answer instead of two because you're only taking out one thing. Any questions? Okay. Let's look at another one. This one just sounds gross to me, personally. It's just the butterfat that makes, it's like, I just ate, I don't want to listen to that. Okay. Yeah. So what are we doing this time? Why are we adding? How much do we have to add to get something? No. Well, I mean, it like you do add, but you don't know. Like it's not taking this and mixing them. It's taking what you know and something else to get what they want. It's okay. Okay, so when they finished milking, they found that they had 900 pounds of milk that was 2% butterfat. And then how much butterfat do they have to add to raise the butterfat content to 8%? What did we start with? 900 pounds of 2% butterfat. So it is 98% water. I think it's actually milk is the other stuff. I don't know, not milk. But you can use water. I told you, it doesn't matter what the other item is. Does that make sense? Okay, what are we adding?
X.
A certain amount, yes, of butterfat. What percentage of butterfat and water is it? How much?
Okay, so I'll go with 0% water and 100% butter.
We're only adding butterfat. It's 100% butterfat. Because it says how much butterfat did you have to add. And when it says add butterfat, it's 100% butterfat. Yeah, you basically don't have any water when you're adding only the butterfat. What butterfat looks like? Sounds like, have you ever boiled something that has fat and then like it's what's on top basically? Like that kind of thing. Yeah. That's like what I think of. So it just doesn't sound very good. So we can never cook again. Alright, so how many pounds do I have at the end? Huh? Yeah, or whatever that other stuff is. Does that make sense? Any questions? 8%, 92 gives you 100 total. Each box has to have 100. You start with 900. No. Any questions on that part of setting it up? Do you understand where it comes from? Okay, see if you can solve it by yourself. Just try. Just try.
Oh, I got a number. I did. This is not working.
That's okay if you get decimal. You can get decimals on these sometimes. Will someone go write the equations that they used? Okay, go ahead, Miranda.
See, I got a real number.
What do y'all mean by a real number? It's not necessary.
A whole number is not a real number. There is a difference.
Yeah, we learned about those last year in circle.
A real number is
I
everything
used to
above
chart
zero.
everything.
A real number is like pretty much all the numbers you know, except for the ones that have eyes in them.
I used to have to chart.
Do you agree with that equation?
I didn't use that one.
Okay, will someone go write another equation that they used?
I got that. But
No.
I had that crossed out. Yeah, it's .08.
Yeah, it's 0.08.
Oh crap! Oh, that's really. Oh crap!
Let me say, oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. You had to make sure you said it 3 times.
Are you gonna write your? Okay.
Now I got a number.
That's quick.
Oh crap! I don't even know.
Since I'm recording it on this computer, she said that it like the audio is better and she can hear y'all occasionally.
Hi, Paige. No, Scott.
Scott said hello. I don't know if you heard him or not.
Got that. Now I got a big number. I got 6,000.
Okay,
Me
that's wrong.
too.
That is wrong. Where did you go wrong?
We didn't go on. The whole
Scott,
thing.
what is that?
Okay. Point. Oh, I didn't. I didn't. Oh, me too. Oh. This is so confusing.
You can use either one. You can use either butterfat or water. I'll go over it. Hold on. I'll go over it. There are two different equations you could use. Okay. Did anyone get this blue equation? Anybody get the blue equation?
See, I tried to do this with like mental math because I didn't want.
Anyone else use the blue equation? Okay, looking at the red equation. Did anyone set it up like this? Yeah, that's okay. How many got it correct using the red equation? Okay. Did you? Oh, yeah. What y'all get? Yeah, 58.7. Did you get that? Not when you fixed it to 0.02? Did it change to 18? And then plus x? Only if you use the 0%. But you used the brine, and then you used water. You have to use either all brine or all water. Does that make sense? You know what you did wrong, Kayla? What'd you do? Okay. You got this whole thing up here? Oh, I know why. Yeah, it should be that.
It's 0.08.
Yeah. Because it's 0.08, not 0.8. Yeah.
Hey, does anybody else know it's really to say 0 anymore? Just say O.
Yeah.
It sounds.
I hate.
0 or O. O's quicker.
O is shorter and easier.
Like K.
Miranda, did you get it to work? Kayla, did you get it to work?
When I'm saying the number, I'm like, I got no. Okay, hold on, block right. I got 58.69.
Just rounds up to.
Anyone else need to go over this one? Okay. Oh no, you would only say 58.7 pounds of, or even, you don't even have to specify what it is because it says how much needed to be evaporated or added. Does that make sense? You don't have to give two separate ones because it's only one thing that you're adding or subtracting. Does that make sense? Any other questions on this one?
I still got it wrong.
Of butter, fat, or whatever.
No, you say gram.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can. I won't mark it wrong. But you don't have to add like what it is. Because it says how much butter fat did they have to add. You had to add, yeah, 58 pounds or grams. Any other questions? Okay, one more. See if you can set up.
Can't fail, look there.
Dang.
See if you can set it up correctly.
Can't fail. That's how I read it every time. I don't. When people say how you spell it, I'm like, yeah.
My aunt's last name is Kimball, and all the time people misspell it. She's like, it's like the soup, you know, like Campbell's soup. Come on.
That's what my dad always said. But they can misspell that too. So yeah. Can't spell. I read it can't. Oh, now I'm like looking at it. I'm like analyzing it. That's why I'm gonna put above our house when you go into the driveway. Can't spell. Like.
Weird. I want a weird, like, awkward.
Okay, I got a story. Oh, more adding.
It's coming, Jason. Like, they're all smart.
Because you're only adding one thing or subtracting one thing. You're not mixing two things together.
See, this one's confusing because it's like just
Yeah. Look at both.
Do it.
No. I had a fake cookies. We had a party this week. I had the cafeteria. When I opened the box, everybody took a cookie. One girl took 4 cookies. She had them in a stand.
Then everybody didn't take a cookie.
And like, I'm still looking at the box in.
Maybe you should have brought a box of cookies to lunch if you weren't willing to share
I had
them.
2. I was getting up to people, but I didn't think people would be fat and take 4 cookies. She took 4 cookies.
All right, will someone go draw their picture on the board?
Yeah, that's
Not right now. No, somebody else other than Miranda. Just draw the picture. Just draw, yeah, and all the, yeah, and put the information in the boxes. Just try.
I got a desk. Now I don't know what it looks like.
Where is that place?
It's all like where you Starbucks. That's where all my Christmas is going. Now I don't know.
Okay, is she right so far? Okay. Okay. So, how many kilograms? How many kilograms did she start with, or they start with? And then how much did they add to it? So how much do they end up with? No. Minus x? Yeah. Okay. What are they adding? Yeah, what percentage is it? Uh-huh. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You can do it.
I already wrote my name on my correction paper. I already knew I got one wrong. At least one.
Which one? I mean, this isn't your test. Which one did you get wrong?
It was like, I don't know.
Or that you know you got wrong?
Yeah, 'cause you're saying like somebody like 100. I'm
No,
like,
no, she didn't. But I'm just asking, which one do you like? She's like, I know I got one wrong.
It
Like,
was like the product. Like the product.
Okay.
I think not right so far.
let her see. Let them see. Is she right so far?
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
Okay. Well, start over here. What do you do first? Mhm.
Good at me.
It's 20. Yes. It's the last example. Okay. And then what do you do? No, not add. Yeah. 35. Huh? Yeah.
She put so long on my computer all the time.
She spends half the time like listening to our class. Hello. If you'll give me like 3 minutes, I'll be working on the test corrections. What are you doing?
Oh no, I don't even multiply through.
No, you minus.
Yeah, but that's a 40 and that's
Yeah, you do the other one. Do the other way around.
Yeah.
Minus 20.
Move the 35 over.
I'm so lost though. Okay, I'm sorry.
Come on, go back to the just.
I need to tell you. Because I don't like things.
I need the calculator now.
Well, you said I don't like
Hey,
Still thinking with a calculator.
But not thinking is hard. I don't like. I hate this class. Like I know I don't know how to do it. Calculator. You're like amazing at math.
No, but Randy is.
So I have the 10, 30, 20, and I think I have less than 50.
Okay.
Oh, 20.
Do y'all agree? 300?
I get a negative?
Good.
I said 20 minus 60 minus.
Do I need to go over that one?
Good.
Any questions on it?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead and take that.